And welcome everybody to another episode of Mac Yak. We only have four of us here tonight because Steve is an old man. He had a birthday today, so he is actually stuffing his face right now full of birthday cake.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Yeah.
Ice cream.
Oh, and Jay ate some ice cream for him, so yeah, there we go. All right, guys, so how you guys been doing this week?
Superlative.
Yeah, I see Jay has been doing a lot of streaming with some beige stuff here. What is up with
Jay's
that?
got stories.
To get the story about this disgusting pile of beige, head on over to my channel and watch me cover myself in mouse poop.
I got to say, Jay, when I saw you get to about the third or fourth one, how quickly you got those REM sims out of those holders. You're becoming a pro. I tell you what, you're getting your beige on.
Still haven't snapped any.
Well, yeah. Bruce, what did he ask us in the chat earlier today about? He wants to buy something.
Yes. He was after some form of SCSI emulator. So
yes,
one doesn't buy a SCSI emulator unless there's a certain level of commitment to beige.
Mm-hmm.
There's a commitment to selling these working, so I got to test them.
Understand. Are you going to actually sell them with the original drives? Are you going to sell them with emulators in them? You are. Okay, cool. Be very interested to see what treats are inside those hard drives. You never know. There might be some unknown drivers or some software there.
Yeah, I was talking to Steve earlier, and he said, just set up one of your blue and white G3s, put a SCSI card in there, load it up with a bunch of drive tools, make sure you're ready to go and image it if it spins up. And I think I gave everything beige or anything that has anything to do with beige to Steve and Dana, including SCSI cards. So we'll see how far I get. But I do want to image it and see what's what.
Yep, no, that's fantastic.
Should be fun. And you've been working on something special.
Yes. I've got this. It's got a hat on. That's just because I had nowhere else to put this clamshell. But it's a Macintosh SE30 that I picked up recently, and it had all sorts of problems with it, and it has been pretty much restored. I've only got one thing left to do to it, and that's recap the power supply. But I've already recapped the analog board, recapped the logic board, repaired the video issue, fixed up the screen geometry, installed a SCSI emulator. Cleaned and lubricated the floppy drive. So this one here, I'm almost definitely going to put up on eBay to see what exorbitant price it goes for as a complete working restored package. So
just make sure you take the pictures with polka dots underneath it.
Sorry, what was that, Jay?
Is that one of the Macs that has all the signatures in the back?
No, I don't think the SE30 does. I think that's mainly the 128K, 512K, and the Plus, and I think the SE. But I think by the time they got to the SE30, they stopped putting the signatures in them.
I think the SE30 does too.
It does. Okay. Yeah, I could
definitely fold in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly confirm, but not sitting in this chair. The prices for a lot of these computers have just been kind of silly around here, and that's even for ones where people are putting them up as untested and with no keyboard and mouse. So I just had this curiosity more than anything else. It's not even necessarily about making the money. I'd be quite happy to just hang on to this thing. But I just had this curiosity to see getting one fully restored, fully recapped, fully working, all ready to go, plug and play with software already installed. If I put that up on eBay and just let the market go, see what happens. It's mainly just to satisfy my own curiosity.
Well, the quick question is: are you selling it with the SCSI emulator, or is it with the original hard drives?
SCSI emulator. I've got the original hard drive. It does work. I could do it, but of course, it's an old Quantum that makes a whining noise. So I want to sell it to someone and say, look, this isn't something you're going to have problems with in a week's time.
So Kate says her SE30s do not have signatures.
Okay. Yeah. No. As I say, I've got the back of the case of another one, just not far away. It would be very easy to check. So I thought that was the case, but I stand corrected if it's not the case. So
yeah. Well, if it does have signatures, you should add your own.
And I should just mention to Retro Techie, there is a very important distinction between me and Mr. Polka Dots, and that is that I will sell this as an auction and not as a buy it now. I will let the market decide its value. I won't broadcast to the world what I think it's worth.
What are you going to start it at?
But
I'll probably
Bruce,
start
you
at
know what you have.
Yeah, I know what I have. I'll probably start it at $100, only because it's if it's I think $100 is a starting price that will probably get some interest. People will be $100 for an SE30.
Well,
I'm going to bet
also
on that.
let our viewers know that's $100 Australian, not
$100
US.
Australian. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. So I mentioned this before, but I mean, it doesn't always happen, but sometimes the prices out here do silly stuff. And keep in mind, I am talking about auctions. I am not talking about buy it nows. I really only report on auctions because that's really the only way you can properly know what the market decided. And it's not uncommon here for a classic or for a Mac Classic or a Classic 2 to go around the $500 mark. And the SE30 is one that is very desirable. And so in this condition, I would be thinking, I mean, who knows? But I mean, I think it could get up to $1,000. We'll see. Australian dollars. So, but we'll see. As I say, it's an experiment. As long as I get my money back, I'm fine.
Yeah. All right, Mike, you got anything going on? Did you have anything going on this week?
Work.
Pretty much the same as me.
Unlike these two guys down here, I actually have to work for a living.
Well, I do too, so,
Yeah, that's why I said these two guys down here,
I work for a living as well.
I have to physically walk out of the house, down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, no, don't do that.
Drive 35 miles to work for 8 hours, drive 35 miles back home.
All right, Mike, you got me beat because I have to do at least 20 miles, but I have to do it on I-95, which is like a major traffic jam.
Like seventh level of hell right there. That's approaching Baltimore, Washington Beltway hell.
It is actually... I actually work right at where the Beltway is, where 495 is. So,
oh Lord,
yes.
Well, I watch the traffic report every morning. Does that count?
Can you believe this guy's actually leaving the house to work? So that's so 2019.
Well, I do get to drive a car.
Can you increase the gain on your mic?
So it balances out.
How's that? Better?
Yeah, a bit better. You were just a little quiet. Drowned out by the two people above you.
Can somebody send Grudy the link because he wants to join us?
Oh, dear Lord. We're perfectly spaced out here. Look at this.
Yeah, I know. That's the 5's going to wreck it, isn't it?
Yeah, we were perfectly even here. Now he's going to be a pain in the ass.
We're going to mess it all up.
I'll send it to him.
But yeah,
I send it to him.
Give Mike some time because as soon as he visits me, he's going to have more IBM stuff to last him a lifetime of streams.
Yes.
And a Mac 2X.
Someone's already done it.
Yeah. All right. So for myself, I did get a new video card in for my Mac here. And the guy I actually got it from was for a trade on our Discord server from Exit 70. Now his real name I won't say because he may not want it said or not, but he graciously sent me the card first and said for me to test it, make sure it works before I send him my card. His card is boxed up right now and it's going out in the mail tomorrow. So that he sent me one that's actually a 58 or a 580. And it is Mac card flashed. So it actually has a boot screen.
Cool.
So I do not need to run OpenCore with this computer right now because I'm still running Mojave. So
now, Mike, did you say I was going to be a pain in the ass?
What?
No.
Be a pain in the ass?
Anyway, hi guys.
Hey,
Greg.
We all said you were going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So it was a unanimous agreement.
No, we were just commenting because we had a perfect symmetry going on here, and you just
that's right. That's right. The 4 to 5 transition is very, I mean, it's still reasonably geometrical, but
yeah, just messed it up. Anyways, Grudy, so what has happened with your week since we last saw you last week? And I know you've had some interesting stuff happen.
I almost
Where
died.
are your glasses?
I almost died. Like, literally almost died.
But you didn't.
But you didn't.
My hand and arm's a little messed up. I don't know if you can see that.
It looks like a dirty arm. Looks like you haven't taken a bath.
Yeah, well, that's a bruise. It's all through there. Yeah, my hand's broken
Well, why don't you have a cast on it then?
because it's just a fracture. But it's swollen. It's all bruised through here.
That's okay. You're right-handed, right?
Yeah, but I'm also ambidextrous, so it's still a pain in the
Not
butt.
anymore.
That's true. Good point. Not anymore. So
If anybody didn't know, I think you did make a video of it that Grudy flipped his Corvette
yeah.
into a ditch.
Again.
It was part of a dare.
Yeah.
Kind of a tear. Well, I was trying to avoid a pedestrian in the road. I darted over into the other lane before I realized my neighbor's Jeep was coming head on at me, which was kind of convenient. It was my neighbor's Jeep because he told the police everything without any deviation and stuff, but still.
So in other words, you got your story straight with the guy before you told the police, right?
No.
I mean, look,
That wasn't how it happened,
the
but-
thing is that last week, Grudy comes back to the show for the first time in a really long time, tells us he's going to start making some new content, and then crashes his car. Now, if that isn't a little bit sus about someone looking for content for a video, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I darted around my neighbor, tried to save it, dropped off the side of the road, which screwed the dynamics of the car up. It kicked sideways. It shot straight for the creek. It bounced into the creek.
So, Grudy, how fast were you actually going?
I don't know.
You know.
That car goes from 0 to 60 in about 2-point-something seconds.
All
How
right, then answer this. Were you going the speed limit or were you going over?
Over.
like double, triple, quadruple
That
over?
area, probably double.
Well, let's see here.
Not
The
as
speed limit in
fast as
West
you'd
Virginia
think.
is a minimum of 55, so he was probably doing at least a buck 10.
The speed limit is like 30, so it wasn't that fast.
Now it's what's odd is that how old are you?
Almost 30.
Almost 30. So you should have still back in the day played Carmageddon. So you know the rules that apply if there's a pedestrian on the road. Tough luck, my car. So
That's not how it works in real life, Jay.
Oh, come on.
But anyway, the car came in, hit the creek bank on the driver's side, ripped off the driver's side door, walloped my whole left side with the driver's side door. And then the car went sideways in the air, hit the passenger side. I figured this out after I made that video. Hit the passenger side and flipped over the bridge from the passenger side and then landed on the driver's side on me.
So Thomas thinks you need to buy a minivan.
No, I think he should be limited to a tricycle.
Actually,
Yeah.
a minivan with that Corvette engine would be fun.
I think he needs a moped. He can't be trusted with anything that goes more than 20 miles an hour.
Atomic Raptor says you need some more driving training.
I've been driving
Did you say
since I was
Atomic
7.
Raptor?
Oh,
Axiomatic Raptor.
Axiomatic Raptor.
Oh.
Or
It's
you
Nick.
could just say Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
That works.
so
So
Hey,
and
Thomas,
Patrick
I used
goes.
to drive a turbo minivan.
Yeah.
It was fun,
was
actually.
it fun?
Yeah.
Oh, so Kate goes, time to download a car.
Well, the nice thing is I still have another Corvette, so I'm okay.
No.
Yeah, for another 2 weeks and then.
Yeah, I was gonna say until we see the next video of.
Well, the fun thing is it's an 86, so if I wreck this one the same way, I'm dead. So
All right, so Grudy will not be here next week.
We'll be having a memorial Mac Yak for Rudy.
yeah. Let's not jinx it.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the news and announcements. I got a few little news items. We already talked about Steve as an old man. His birthday is actually today, so everybody wish Steve a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, Hoser.
Yeah, everybody drop a super chat and we will buy him a slice of cake.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Second news. There's some more stuff coming out in the Epic Games thing. I don't know if there's anything new that we haven't talked about in this, but Apple has actually banned Epic Games from the App Store until all litigation is complete.
I thought they already had.
Yeah.
Well, they just I saw the story come out today about that they are actually making sure that Epic does not get on their App Store until everything's complete, because Epic is actually appealing the ruling right now.
Yeah.
So I'll just read this. I'm just going to read this little excerpt from this is from the actual ruling from Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers. It's only small, but I'll just read this to you. So it specifies that Apple is hereby permanently restrained and enjoined from prohibiting developers from including in their apps and their metadata buttons external links or other calls to action that direct customers to purchasing mechanisms, in addition to in-app purchasing and communicating with customers through points of contact obtained voluntarily from customers through account registration within the app. Now, essentially what they're saying is that these developers are allowed to use their own in-app payment options. So that's basically what that judgment says. However, it is also saying that ultimately Epic Games overreached. As a consequence, the trial record was not as fulsome with respect to antitrust conduct in the relevant market as it could have been. Thus, and in summary, the court does not find that Apple is an antitrust monopolist in the sub-market for mobile gaming transactions. However, it does find that Apple's conduct enforcing anti-steering restrictions is anti-competitive. So, I think they were ultimately saying along those lines, unless I completely misinterpret that, they're saying that Epic did stuff up, but Apple overreacted. So we'll see what happens, but that was directly from the ruling.
Yep. So that's good, though. But I think that them saying that they're going to ban them until the litigation is done, I think that's also, I think it's kind of messed up. But Apple's probably like, since you want to keep appealing it, we're going to ban you.
Well, I mean, they were already banned as far as I know anyway.
Yeah,
Jay, are you trying to talk? Because we can't hear you.
By the way, thanks again, Justin, for the donation.
It's a lot of noise, Jay.
Yes, thank you, Justin, for your super chat. Thank you. We're going to go. Ta-da! We'll make sure Steve gets that $4.99.
Be more like $1.69.
We still can't hear Jay.
No, still can't hear Jay. What's all that about? He's muted.
Yeah, I just muted him. Well, he muted himself just now.
Okay.
And there's no audio. It's just noise. Just noise coming out, Jay. So don't know what's going on. Yeah, fix it. All right. So next news item we got on there is, and I'm going to try to say this without messing it up, but Apple leakers leak an Apple anti-leak memo. So what happened was The Verge was leaking a whole lot of stuff, but Tim Cook had a little, I guess, internal meeting with Apple, basically saying he's getting tired of the leaks going out. And he says, I'm writing today because I've heard from so many of you that we were incredibly frustrated to see the contents of the meeting leaked to reporters. This comes after a product launch in which most of the details of our announcements were also leaked to the press. And he goes, I want you to know that I share your frustration. These opportunities to connect as a team are really important, but they only work if we can trust that the content will stay within Apple. So basically, his anti-leak memo was leaked. So it's kind of ironic there. It's just funny. I thought that that would happen. So apparently there's people in Apple that are trying to leak this stuff. And I think this came in connection with Apple is actually putting out a new virus thing or vaccine thing and that got leaked out too. So I think that's one of the things they're kind of upset about is that, internal stuff is getting leaked all the time, and they're trying to crack down on it. So not sure they're going to be able to do it unless they actually stop people from like recording the meetings or whatnot, but hey. So what do you guys think about this leak?
I don't think there's much more to add other than what you said.
All right.
This way, back in the day when Jobs was around, there were no such things as leaks except for the iPhone 4 fiasco, but still.
Well, that's because someone left it in a bar and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Thank
Whoa,
you,
wow.
Patrick.
Thank you,
Yeah.
No,
Patrick.
Steve's not getting any of that.
I didn't get nothing for my birthday.
if we keep getting donations like that, we can have Bruce come over for our group.
I know. We'll just have to put him on a slow boat from Australia, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
You think I was smiling before? You should see me now.
At least we
Yeah.
can hear you
Thank
now.
you, Patrick.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Goes into USDs for that.
All right, so let's go ahead and start moving on to our first topic of the evening. And this is Dave's suggestion. What is the scariest or ugliest Mac you have ever seen or owned?
Greg?
I'm gonna start off. The first one I've seen is Sean's cursed Mac, because that thing is ugly. I don't care what you say. That thing is ugly.
Oh, I've seen worse. I've owned worse.
Yeah.
But I
Are
think
you
we should
talking
start with.
about?
I think we should start with Grudy because just on everything he owns.
Oh yeah, well, come on now. Agree with if he sat there and talked about everything, we'd be here for 10 hours.
No, the worst one I ever got was this guy named Michael Danlop or something like that gave me this one that smelled like cigarettes. It was really yellow.
Which one did I give you?
Your G3 Tower,
G3.
the beige one.
Okay. Well, I did have that when I used to smoke, so.
Yeah. Other than that, I did have. Oh, I do take that back. My first G3 blue and white had been stored outside at some point, and it was it had like a squirrel or something living in it at some point. Believe it or not, it still worked, and I was able to rebuild it. But my hands were matte black, basically cleaning that thing.
And I'm pretty sure there was some blood somewhere in there, right?
Oh yeah, there was plenty of blood in it too. Yeah, that was definitely worse than one Mac gave me. I take that back, Mike.
That's okay. I'm only slightly offended.
So how about everybody else? What
Well,
is the
I would
ugliest?
like to give a special mention to Sean. As you mentioned, the cursed SE30. I just wanted to give special mention, not specifically about the black SE30, but about what he did to the front bezel trying to get the paint off. That was even worse. So just a special mention there about the chemical paint removal method that he used to make that SE30, just in case you didn't think it could get any worse, make it a little bit worse. But I have to, of course, talk about that SE of Steve's that he's not here to defend or mention. I think it's a Mac SE that's painted in all different colors and stuff like that. That's
Blue, yellow, and red.
that's
the clown Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the ugliest Macs I've ever seen. I mean, I think we've got a hats off to Dave, who's
How
obviously
many
not
are
here
you gonna
yet.
mention? You're gonna leave nothing for me, man.
Okay. I'll pass it
Yeah, it's
on
too
to
late.
someone else
You've
now.
done it. You took all the good.
Yeah, because I was going to actually mention Steve's Mac SE, and then Bruce beat me to the punch.
Sorry about that. Okay.
No, you're not.
No, not too good.
I agree with Bruce that clown Mac that Steve has is just it gives me nightmares. And what I saw on Dave's live stream was I have no words for it. It was horrible.
Yeah. Desert camo.
Now, if we're talking just ugly Macs, there's not too many ugly Macs that I've actually owned. But now when you're talking about dirty Macs, oh my God, I've seen some dirty ones.
The nastiest Macs I've ever had in my house, by far.
So the worst one I ever had was a PowerBook 540C. By the time I got rid of that thing in 1999, there was very little plastic left. It was being held together with copious amounts of epoxy and that SureTac stuff and hopes, wishes, toothpicks, and probably some bubble gum in there somewhere, and copious amounts of double-sided tape holding the screen in. I wish I had pictures of it. You guys would have laughed at it.
So Dana, I don't know if anybody saw that comment, but he says the Japanese PowerBook is the ugliest Mac ever.
Someone
the LPGA, the golf one or the tennis one.
I don't know. It looks like a Lego, doesn't it? Or
yeah, the one that they specially made.
It looks like Steve's Mac SE.
Yeah.
The Molar Mac has to get a special mention, surely.
Yeah,
that is ugly.
The only one. That is an ugly Mac.
Why does it look like a tooth?
It is quite hideous.
And what was that? What was that Mac? What was that Mac that came out around the time of the clones? That was virtually just a clone, but with an Apple badge on it. Yeah, they're awful.
It was so PC. I swear. You looked at the damn thing and you would have sworn it was, if you just looked at it from a distance, you would have sworn it was just a beige box PC. It has to be like one of the worst freaking Power Macs ever. I actually ranked the 4400 and higher than the 7100 as in terms of my worst Power Mac that I've ever had. And as Bruce will tell you, that's saying a lot because I absolutely loathe the Power Mac 7100.
What's that? I think Steve has one. It's all black, and I find it truly hideous. I think it's
Macintosh TV.
Macintosh TV. Yeah, that thing is hideous.
They also made a Power Mac. I think a 5200 and a 5400 in black as well. They're very rare, and they're not the greatest looking machines either. But I don't know. They're better looking than the white ones, I guess.
Yes, the Macintosh TV didn't quite do it. You know, they didn't quite get that one right.
And the G4 Quicksilver is the ugliest of the series as well.
Well, what about the trash can Mac?
I like them.
I
like the look of
it. But it looks pretty.
Yeah, I don't think it's
just
ugly.
useless.
It's just useless.
It has some functional issues, but they do look nice.
And
one of the interesting things
are impossible to get off.
One of the interesting things that happens, and you know, this has been discussed many times, is that kind of bell curve of value sort of thing that happens based on as a computer gets older, whether it gets value based on how old it is, how rare it is, that sort of thing. And there's a period of time when a computer is too old to be useful, but too young to be collectible. Every computer seems to go through that period, and during that time, that little window of opportunity where it's too old to be functional, but too new to be collectible, that's when these things get the ugly paint jobs. That's around about the time that people start getting to these. They might give them to their kids or something. They get to them with a spray can or sort of some paint or crayons or something like that. And that's the danger time. Then a little bit later on, when they become valuable because of their age, then we all look back at that paint job and go, "Why? Why did you do it?"
It's a good point.
I will agree with this statement. The new Mac Pro, impressive machine, but I don't like the look of it. Especially the handles. They're just flimsy handles. And the feet. Looks like this rack I got standing behind me.
Flimsy handles? That thing's built into the frame. The frame is the handles.
A Mac Pro deserves wide handles, like our classics. Not this.
Yeah, but they're more comfortable to grab.
That I have
Yeah,
to agree with
yeah.
Grudy on that one. They
Yeah.
are more comfortable because you're not cutting your hands.
The feet are ugly though.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will
and
still
the
take
wheels
one.
make it even
Anyone's
worse.
Handing them
Yeah.
out. Anyone handing them
Yeah, I'll
out?
take a few.
I'll
If
take
anyone
one.
has them, I'll trade one of these.
But I can tell you one Mac Pro, or is it a Mac Pro that he did that to, or is it a G5 where he put wheels on it, and that would be Ken's, where he put
Yeah.
those stupid Coast caster wheels on was it a G5? I think he
I
did it
think
too.
it might have been G5. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was ugly. I have to admit that one was ugly.
It worked though.
It did work, but
So,
I think the
Bruce,
wheels look pretty good on my Pro.
let me ask you an honest question. What's the best looking Mac you've ever seen?
Oh, see, the problem there is I've got, I have bias there because I was, I was using these things when they came out. So, I mean, I had that feeling of, oh, this thing is new, you know what I mean? So, I mean, like, for instance, I think the Quadra 700 is just an awesome looking computer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me. That's a personal thing, I mean, I remember sitting down in front of a Quadra 700 brand new and just being absolutely blown away by the speed. So that's where I'm not very impartial with this sort of stuff. How about you?
Yeah, the 700 is one of the nice ones. I personally like the 2SI myself.
It is a good looking Mac, especially when you get the matching screen on the top of it.
Yeah.
Beautiful little unit. Yep.
Well,
That
going
list
back
is pretty long because Apple made more good-looking machines than bad-looking.
But what's the best looking one out of all of them?
I'm just saying, like your top one.
My top one would be the iMac G4. I like the look of that one.
That's
Yeah,
a pretty
that is-
good looking machine.
That is
It's
a good
very
looking Mac.
unique.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unlike
Yeah,
unlike a lot of Apple's machines, that was actually a very unique machine to just that computer.
For an all-in-one, it was pretty darn.
All the iMacs that came after all look the same.
Mhm.
It's like from the Power Mac from the iMac G5 all the way up until today. They all basically look the same.
Even M1 still
The
kind
only
of
thing
the
they
same.
did, the only difference is instead of white, now they're aluminum.
Yes.
But they all look the same. Same thing with the Mac Pros. From the G5 all the way up to 2012, all the machines look the damn same.
Yeah.
Every one of them had that stupid chin.
Whereas the iMac G4, it was very unique. That was the only machine they ever did that with. They never did it again, and I know they never will. So
when you consider that Apple has been doing an all-in-one since 1984, I feel like the G4 iMac is the first time that was a really good practical design. Now I realize that it needed LCD, or it needed LCD displays in order to achieve that goal. So we were essentially waiting for the technology to get cheap enough for them to be able to do it. That was their main limitation. But I just feel like that is a unit where you can say, yeah, that is a really good practical all-in-one unit.
It looks good. It's not something I would put on the shelf. The 15-inch looks awkward because the orb is way too big. The 17-inch is all right, and the 20-inch makes the orb look way too small. So it's iffy.
17s.
You were just nitpicking.
It's not a.
I have a
radical
15
departure. Hold on, it's not a radical departure from the iMac that came before. It had colors, it was translucent, it was already a different product. But I'm biased, of course, but I would say the blue and white G3. You got 20 years of beige, and then suddenly, bam, blue and white desktop. I think that would be the MDD is hot too, but
Especially the pictures, the video that Ken did on the blue and white. All his cinematic shots of the blue and white were amazing.
yeah.
I'd
Really
like
brought
to
out
actually.
the beauty.
I'd like to put a special mention out for the titanium, which was a PowerBook.
Yeah.
I know that we can all look at them now and we can nitpick all of the manufacturing faults, like the hinges that break and the paint that comes off around the edges. But if you just look at one of those brand new out of the box, at the time compared to all the other laptops that were available, they are an amazing looking computer, in my opinion. I think they are, they're pretty spectacular. And I know at the time my boss bought one, and I was just unbelievably jealous. It's like I was just always trying to think of an excuse to ask if I could use it.
Yeah, and just a disclaimer: Jay is running the comments, showing up tonight, so that's the reason why that comment showed.
I think the ugliest, in my opinion, Mac ever made would probably be the Macintosh Portable.
Did you say ugliest?
Ugliest.
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I still want to own one, but it's the awfulness that
I
makes
thought you were
it.
saying I thought you were trying to say the Macintosh Portable was the prettiest. I'm like,
Oh,
No,
no.
I said
you've
ugliest.
been taking way too many painkillers now.
No, the painkillers are nice, though. I'll tell you that much.
Guys, anybody who thinks the Portable is pretty is on some serious shit.
Yeah,
All I
yeah.
gotta say. It's not even it's a great machine, but it's not practical. It's heavy as crap, and truthfully, it's just I don't even know how to describe it.
Well,
You know
I think
what
we
is
should.
pretty though? I found a carrying case for the portable in that shed. That
The
I'm
carrying
going
case actually looks
The case is
better
pretty-
than the
Yeah.
Portable.
The case,
Yep.
the carrying case looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yep.
And don't you need
You know-
like some battery charge for it to even power on?
Yeah, you need a battery to make it power on. There is
Yeah.
no AC adapter for it. Like
Well, no,
we're
you
used
can
to.
still plug it in, can't you?
Yeah, but it doesn't power the machine.
Yeah.
It only charges the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no battery, no go.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I'm
kind
a
of
little disappointed that none
So
of you
stupid.
nominated the Xserve or the Xserve Raid as
Well-
the prettiest Mac out there.
They're not
No.
a bad looking computer. I will give
Well,
them
if
that.
you
Really
want to
not
make
that
the
bad
argument,
looking.
it's technically not a Mac.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It's technically not.
You've been
If you
gone
can
too
install-
long, you
if
have
you
no
can
idea
install-
what you're talking about.
I mean,
It
if
runs
you can
Mac OS
install
as a
them,
Mac.
yeah,
Then
I would
you
agree
can
with
call the first generation Apple TV a Mac.
Yeah.
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 yeah, I'm fine with that.
I would call
If it helps me make my
power
case,
computing
yeah.
power tower a Mac. Because it is.
Oh wait, the flower power and
there.
Dalmatians.
There's your proof. The official moniker, the official identifier for the original Xserve was Rack Mac.
Yeah, for the first one it was.
Nice
when
save, Nick. Nice save.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
when
Good
you get
point.
the rack mount Xserve Raid with an Xserve on top of it, with all the blue lights flickering away, that is a beautiful looking computer.
and
I got one
it
running
makes
in my
that Mac
basement
look
right now.
awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Beats the hell out of all those. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, just look at Jay's rack in the cellar. He's got the G5, and he's got the 7 cluster nodes, and he's got the RAID all in one. And I have to say that is one like sexy tower of useless power.
I agree.
Useless. Absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that he has to have a 150 amp circuit breaker just for all those machines to power on.
Minor details.
We watch the electric meter go like this as soon as he powers them
You
all.
can hear it when you're quiet. You hear zzz outside.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move on here a little bit. There's a something that came out in Low End Mac. It's about Mac cults. So I'm going to read this off real quick. This was in Low End Mac, and he goes from Jason. Is it Wong? I don't know. Or Hong.
I love
He
to see you
goes.
struggle with names.
Yeah.
Try
Just
it out.
curious, how many of
Yeah, we're
us?
not going to help you.
Yeah. I'm just going to say Jason. How's that? All right. So how many of us here are in the 1990s were caught up in a Mac cult? And he goes, I'm using this term maybe with a broad definition. Says, in this cult, there was an irrational sense that Apple was good, Microsoft was bad, that anything good about Windows was a threat because the UI had been stolen from Apple, that being forced to use Windows was degrading, that other people who owned Macs were better friends, and other friends who used Windows were misguided and they would one day see the light, etc., etc. So
Not back
I
then,
think,
but-
Jay,
but
that
today,
sounds like
definitely.
you. That sounds like you, Jay.
Back in the 90s, I didn't care, but today, oh, you use a PC. Yeah, I don't need to know you. I'm better than you.
if anybody watched Jay's stream yesterday when he was looking at those Macs, when he touched a PC card that was actually in the Mac, he kind of broke out in hives,
Yeah, I got blisters. Kind of like touching holy waters, like oh. No.
And that was only 286.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so do we think, were any of you guys thinking cultish back then? Or
I wasn't heavy on the Kool-Aid, but I definitely much preferred in school working on Macs, and when people were talking about viruses and defragmenting and fixing their register or registry, whatever it's called, I definitely felt like a better human being than them.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I started with PCs pretty much most of my life until I got my first Mac, I want to say about 7-8 years ago. But ever since then, I've been like, I don't want to do Windows. The only thing I do Windows for now is gaming, because that's the only thing it's worth anything for now.
Yeah.
To do any serious work, you want a Mac, I think.
Yeah.
They just
what
have
serious work you want to do.
Well, just about anything.
Now, 10 years ago, I wouldn't agree with you.
Yeah.
I was PC through and through until I got a Mac.
But see, it's like Gertie and I both, we got a Mac, and guess what? Now we're like, why would we want a PC anymore?
Yeah. I
See,
couldn't
I was a
understand
complete-
why my uncle was so obsessed with Mac
Now
until
you know.
I got a Mac.
So
I,
I, guess
um,
I was the neutral ground because I had no feelings either way. They were just kind of tools to me. So I used Macs back in elementary school, but I didn't own one until 1996, I think, 95, when I got a 512KE and loved having it, even though it had no hard drive. But I've always had Macs and PCs sitting next to each other. Proof in point. And I still use PCs on a daily basis. So, I mean, I prefer to have a Mac. I would probably have an anxiety attack if anything happened to my Mac Pro. But,
All right, Joe is now banned from MacYac because he does all his serious work on
Joe's
PCs.
in trouble.
So, and he says that Macs are just toys. What? His
Macs are toys.
His Macs are toys. Doesn't mean all Macs are toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started working with Macs professionally in about 1989. And I worked for about 15 years in the pre-press print industry, pre-press print and design, which was heavily Mac dominated. So from that perspective, we were just Macs. We had one or two PCs in the place. I think we had one Deck Alpha as a file server running Windows NT, and then we had one PC for just loading PC software. Excuse me, but there was definitely an attitude within that environment that we were all trained on using the Mac software. So when someone would turn up with a file in CorelDRAW, excuse me, or some other Windows-based software, there was a sort of a definite contempt. It's like, oh, God, I'm going to have to fire up the PC to do this job. And so we were definitely, I guess you could say, a kind of a cult within that, because that's just what we did. That was the software, the computers we were using, the software we were using. And there was definitely that feeling that the Windows was an awful thing. Now, one of the bugbears I'd always had with Windows 3 was the fact that it worked with aliases. When you were looking on the screen, you didn't see a list of files. On a Mac, when you opened up the hard drive, you'd see all the files on the hard drive. On Windows, all of the windows were just kind of like aliases of things, which I was always very frustrated with. And then when Windows 95 came out, and I remember one of my Windows customers, and we had a good relationship with him, but used to always give him grief about the fact that, oh, you're bringing us another PC file. And he came in, and it was just before Windows 95, or just around about the time Windows 95 was being released. And he announced to me as he came in, he said, Windows 95 is out now. He said, Apple will cease to exist in 12 months. That's what he basically told me at the time. He said, now that Windows is here, and that we have this new interface, which is so user friendly, that Apple will be dead in within 12 months. Now, the interesting thing is, this is 95, 1996. He wasn't far off the mark. You know what I mean? Apple was not doing particularly well at the time. But it is a very interesting thing to have had that conversation at the time and then look at where Apple is today.
Well, if it wasn't for Microsoft, Apple would be dead. If you think about it.
Well, if it wasn't for a lot of things.
I've never seen as many people switch to Mac as when Windows Vista came out. It was a mass migration to Mac when Vista came out. Pretty much everyone I knew. So definitely thanks to Microsoft, and in more ways than one.
Yes, Thomas, Gates did bail Apple out. And the only reason why Bill Gates did that is because at the time, Bill Gates was going through antitrust in the federal courts. And in order to show that he was not a monopoly, he had to prop Apple up and say, look, Apple is my competition. They're still, thriving. So.
But he also made a deal that they had to use Internet Explorer and a bunch of other Microsoft suites for like 3 years.
Which, it wasn't too bad. I mean, back then, Internet Explorer wasn't the horrendous thing it became.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The old thing about today now, what is it, Microsoft Edge, you use Microsoft Edge to download Firefox or another browser to use, because that's the only time you actually ever fire it up.
It's still so much better than Internet Explorer, though.
It's just like Microsoft Bing.
Yeah. As a web developer, and this is actually one of the really important things when it comes to what you choose to use. It's a very different situation today. As I said, back then we were a design, a pre-pressed design studio. All of the software we're using, the majority of the good stuff was on the Mac. It changed in time, but at the time, if you wanted to use the best software available, you were using it on a Mac. Simple as that. Nowadays, with so much stuff being revolving around the web, I can work on anything. I could work on Mac. I could work on Linux. I could work on on. Did I say Windows? I think I may or may not have said Windows. I've got a bit of a blind spot with Windows, but I can use pretty much anything to do this stuff. So it all really just comes down to using the tool that you are most productive on. And for me, that has always been a Macintosh.
Well, to be honest with you, the last best Windows that I liked was Windows 7. And because when Windows what was the next one? Okay, Windows 8 came out. They changed the user interface to that Metro or whatever it was called interface, where it looked like the Nokia phone with the tiles and stuff. And it's like, what is this? This is a desktop. We're not doing this stuff.
Honestly, I didn't see anything wrong with 8 after I downloaded Start 8.
I did, because trying to get any configurations on it, because it used to be you go to the control panel. Boom, everything's there. Like on a Mac, everything's in the system, control panel or system information panel. But on Windows, they spread all that out all over the system. In order to find something, you had to go into their little type thing and type in a search for that, and then it would take you to it. But I like a Mac because you click on the little gear and boom, everything's right there in that one window. That's just me.
Yeah, Windows 8 sucks.
Yeah.
Windows 10, now that Windows 10 has been out for a while, it's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty smooth and decently running. I still don't like it, but it's better than Windows 8.
That is very true.
It's not better than Mac OS.
No, it's not.
So.
But has anybody seen the Windows 11 where it's kind of looking a little bit like the Mac OS?
Yeah.
They're putting everything in the center again, like a little dock in the middle, and it's like,
It just doesn't look right.
No.
Sorry, Dana.
There's a few mentions of Linux in the chat, and I gotta say, I tried Linux a handful of times over the years. I love it. It runs way faster than Mac OS. When it comes to security updates and patches, way better than Mac OS. The problem is, all you can do is stare at the damn desktop. There's no Photoshop, there's no Unreal Tournament, there's no FileMaker, there's nothing that I use in everyday computing is available for Linux. So it's completely useless to me. But I appreciate the operating system. I wish
you
that
just
people
gotta
would
find
write some apps for it.
There's alternatives to all of that.
Yeah, I mean, things in terms of like Office, there's LibreOffice, which works on it, which is an open source, you've got your word processor, your spreadsheet, and what's the other one? So that's what I would definitely recommend that. But of course, for a lot of people, and I know this isn't you, Jay, but for a lot of people, a web browser is enough. So if they're using web applications and stuff like that, they as long as they've got a web browser, they've got access to everything they need. So for a lot of people, it's a good choice.
Buy a Chromebook.
Don't buy a Chromebook.
That's pretty much what that is. It's a web-based, everything's pretty web-based on that thing.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you're going to do that, go and get yourself a Raspberry Pi or something like that and load, those things are actually quite amazing what they can do for such a small package. But
and you can make a Pi book if you want.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did actually have someone contact me saying their child wants to get into computing, and what would I recommend? And I said, look, if I was in that situation where I was looking at getting a kid into computing, I would probably buy them a Raspberry Pi, and all the bits that go with it. You can actually use them. You can program them and use them to switch things off and on. And they're a good way to get into computing, programming. The whole lot. They're fantastic little thing, and cheap.
Yep. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move on to our next topic of the evening. Is basically iOS 15 just came out on Monday. So how many of us here in MacYac have actually upgraded to iOS 15 on their iPhones? I'm going to talk about the iPhone only. Mm-hmm. And why or why not?
I didn't even know it came out yet.
I'm waiting for 0.1.
And you should wait for 0.1 because let me tell you, 0.0.
But I'll be stuck with it Friday. So
0.0 blows. I can tell you that.
I'm going to tell you something. Go ahead, Mike.
Coming from the guy running it on the oldest piece of equipment possible, I am not impressed. They're changing. I mean, I know I should be more into changing things, but they're changing so much around that it's starting to confuse the crap out of even me, and I didn't know that was possible. But
I think some of the problems with it, and I've noticed that too on my iPad, is that they change. You get so used to the way things work on it, like swiping different ways and stuff, and then they change it, and they say, "Oh, now you got to do this type of gesture," or your address bar is no longer on the top; it's on the bottom, or something dumb like that. It's like, why? Why are we doing that just to change? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm in the old boat of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something though. I'm a member of the Appleseed testers, and the day after iOS 15 came out, I got an email saying that guess what? For iOS updates, they already have an update out for iOS update to beta test for the Appleseed program. So I'm like, really? We just came out with 15, and now we have a beta already to test out. So I'm like, that thing must be buggy as hell if they've already pushing a beta, because normally it takes about 4 or 5 days before we get a beta after it comes out. This one came out the day after, and I was like, wow.
I'm kind of not looking forward to, from things I've heard about 15 even before it's released.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know it had come out Monday.
Yes, it came out on Monday. Yeah. I have not put it on my iPhone yet.
I'm going to be stuck with it tomorrow when my phone comes in. So.
Well, yeah, because the 13 cannot go down to iOS 14.
Yay.
Yeah, it's just see when they released iOS 14, I tell you what, 14 was great. I actually got speed back on my old phone. I mean, I'm still using this 6S Plus. I've had it for 5 years now, and it was great. I mean, and they improved upon it, and they didn't change so much that it was annoying. And they added a couple of cool little features, but some I use, most I don't. But now this one here, they just like, oh well, we got this thing. Let's throw it out to everybody, and they didn't even try to work bugs out. I mean, the battery life on the phone sucks. It's slow. If I have more than 3 or 4 things open in the background, I mean, it slows down to almost dead stop.
Sounds like it's not pausing then, like it's supposed to. Then, huh?
Yeah, it
also sounds like you're not getting iOS 16.
Well, I don't plan on it. I plan on getting a new phone in the next year. It's just I have priorities to use my money on, like, I don't know, paying bills, rent, crap like that. A new iPhone is not a top priority for me.
You're so boring, Mike.
I know. I am.
You can finance it.
God, I'm just poor white trash. What can I do?
Whinge.
So I'm reading some of the comments here. That's why I'm kind of just waiting here. But yeah, it's, to me, a 15.0, like I said, a .01. I'm not going to do it on my phone. I'll do it on my iPad because that's what I beta test on. But I'm not going to put it on my phone yet because I rely on that more than I rely on my iPad. I need my phone to work.
Luckily, I have a backup phone. I have my business phone, which is still running 14.8. So I have, if something happens to this one, I do still have another backup. That's why I don't mind beta testing on the phone. But I also beta tested on my iPad Pro, my first gen iPad Pro, which is now 4 years. Well, hell, that's probably 5 years old now. So now that I noticed wasn't so bad in terms of speed and the whole memory usage in the background. I have nearly no problems with that, but it's still very sluggish.
Yeah.
So, and the battery life is, my battery life is probably about half as it's probably been halved. It's just sucking down the battery juice like crazy. So hopefully with this new update, they'll fix some of the memory leaks and other issues that they're having. They need to really reconsider. I don't know. I don't see the point of releasing a new operating system for the phone every freaking year.
Well, it's their thing now. They release a new iOS, they release a new Mac OS now. Watch OS comes out at the same time. iPad OS, all of that stuff now is.
And none of them are absolutely necessary. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Because they need to test this crap way better. I mean, we're going back to what iOS. What was it? 12? Was it 12 or 13? No, I think it was 13. So when they released iOS 13, we had the same issues. We had shit battery life. We had memory leaks so bad that you could only run one application, and if you put it in the background and loaded something else, your phone would just lock up. It was just insane, and we're back to the same point now. Now, granted, I am running it on an antique, but which I'm actually, I'll give Apple credit for one thing. It's 5 years old, and they're still releasing updates for it.
It's a good point. Yeah.
So anybody who says it, Apple doesn't support their stuff, BS. So my phone will be 5 years old next month, and it's just got a new update. So, and yeah, I see that there is a new beta update. I didn't even notice that, Craig. I'm glad you.
Well, the first beta came out to all the Appleseed testers. I get emails about them all the time, and I shared that with the group on our group chat. Tuesday. I was like, man, this is out quick. Yeah. I was like, I have never seen one come out as quick as this one did.
I'm going to say the last version of iOS 14, I think it was like a month before they released a new beta seed.
No, it's usually about a week or so after they start the Appleseed.
Yeah, I might have skipped one. I don't remember. I'll be the first one to admit I have the beta versions on my phone, but I don't go crazy about after the final release is out. I usually don't go too crazy about doing the updates.
Well, for the public, the public betas are a little bit further after the ones when they release for the Appleseed testers, which is actually like developers and also people like me that they invite it for. But the public ones are a little bit further down the road. So they test with those first, and then they release the public beta, and then they start the next one. So
according to my phone, this was actually pushed out to my phone 4 days ago. So I didn't even.
They might have did public right off the bat then.
So yeah, it could be.
Yeah. All right. Any other on this iOS before we move on?
I really should hop back into my developer.
I'm not going to
beta as
install it
looks like.
for at least a week or two until it's been tested. I did.
I would personally wait. If I was anybody here on the chat, I would wait till at least the second update. So before you even think about it, if you can run 14 as long as you can. I would hesitate updating. So,
I did like the choice that I got because when 15 dropped, I was like, crap, I haven't even installed the latest 14 yet, 14.8. So I went to update real quick, and it gave me a choice. Said, 14.8 or upgrade to 15.
And you're like 14.8.
So my other 6S that I have for my business phone, I hadn't updated that to 14.8 either until last night, and I noticed that I got a choice on that. Because I was thinking, oh crap, I'm going to have to update this to iOS 15 watch, and that was the first time I think they ever did that, which I thought was actually pretty cool. So either they're kind of holding off, forcing people to update, or they know there's a freaking problem, and people are aware of the problems and they don't want to update, and they have to get that security patch out because it's a very dangerous security hole in the operating system. So,
yep. All right. So are we ready to move on here? And this next topic is actually going to be kind of fun because I'm going to throw it over to Bruce. It's kind of like something about Flux Cleaner, right?
Yeah, this is a joke.
I know it was, but I just want to put it out there.
Yes, for some reason, in my workshop, I have misplaced a 1 liter bottle. Whatever that is in gallons, I'm not sure. But it's a bloody big bottle of flux remover. And I have no idea where it is. I mean, we're not talking about like a little capacitor gone missing off my desk or something like that. This is a great big bottle, white bottle of flux remover that has just disappeared off the face of the earth. And I mean, I sit at the desk and I use it. I mean, I can only put it wherever the chair swivels. I just don't know where it could have gone. So yeah, I'm just looking here. The new bottle is $33, so I think that's what's going to happen. And I'll probably get the new bottle and then find the old one.
And you know you're going to find the old one in 5 minutes.
And your microphone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And your microphone's going.
I truthfully think that the spiders are walking off with it because those suckers are as big as my hand. So I think that they're getting high off of it and just walked out of your shed with it. Either that or your chickens did something with it.
But remember, we had this discussion last week about, misplacing something and then trying to find it. Because I did that last night. I was trying to find one of those mini 6 pins to the 8-pin power connector for the Mac Pro. And I looked 3 times in my room here, everywhere, 3 times. And you know where it was? Upstairs in my bedroom on the nightstand, because I remember bringing it to Micro Center trying to find another one like that. And I was like, Jay, your microphone is gone again.
I'm not even talking.
It's making all kind of noises.
It's pretty messed up.
So, but yeah, I did that last night. So I feel you, Bruce. I feel your pain. try losing something and knowing that you have it and trying to find it, that irks me more than anything. All right. So, and Bruce is gone now, and we're coming up to his next portion of the show. And hopefully you're ready for it, Bruce, but it's your YouTube section. You want to go talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Look, this next section here, which we have actually covered a little bit before, for folks who were, who may not have seen the show, we had Logan on about his YouTube channel that just suddenly stopped. So he had a YouTube channel, then he got a notification that he had broken some sort of rule, and his YouTube channel was then just stopped and just disappeared. Now, he got that back, and I have to say, in most instances that I've heard of where YouTube has shut something down, they've usually brought it back again. It's usually been taken down in error. The YouTube and sort of a lot of companies often get a fair bit of flack about if something horrendous has been filmed, someone being injured or killed or something like that, and someone posted on social media, if it's not taken down really fast, those companies get a lot of grief in the media about not doing their job. And so I think a lot of the time when they get a complaint from somewhere, their knee-jerk reaction is to just take it down and then check it later on. That can often happen. But essentially what we talk about here is protecting your content, protecting what it is that you upload to YouTube, because at the end of the day, if the only place you're putting it is YouTube, they have the ability to just remove that content at any time. Now, this isn't necessarily something that I can just sort of, I can kind of open this up to everyone else, because there are all lots of different things that we can do. And to some extent, this is, even with MacYac, we use this software called StreamYard. And at the end of each show, we have the option to go into this console and download the video and audio from each show we do. And the same with the software that I use, which is Ecamm Live. It just automatically records what you're broadcasting onto the local hard drive. And that's the case. You can also do that with OBS. You have an option there of recording it to the hard drive and broadcasting it as well. And the other thing that some people also do is they broadcast to more than one thing. Rather than just going to YouTube, they will, broadcast to Twitch or, sort of something else out there, so that content resides in two locations. So if one goes down, it's still there in another one. And so that's probably the main thing, is just to make sure that if you are uploading content, or if you're doing live streams, and if you want to, retain a copy of that content, make sure that you download it, because just because it's up on YouTube doesn't mean it's going to be there forever. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? Because I've said just about all there is to say about that.
I do, if my mic is working.
Yes, it is.
It's working.
Oh, sweet. I had to go to the bathroom, so I missed a little bit. But did you talk about uploading to multiple sources?
I did. I talked about the idea of YouTube and Twitch, but there are other ones that I'm sure you know of.
I upload all my stuff to BitChute as well. I don't use that platform, but I park it all there in case something happens to YouTube. I could just give someone a link to the BitChute channel for a specific video. And of course, I download everything I export pre-made is also saved on the server, and live streams are downloaded. And also saved on the server in case I need to upload somewhere. And in the case of, I believe Greg, they back it up to my server as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
they do.
500 terabytes worth of it.
Hey, you have the server space and the bandwidth now actually to do that. So.
Yeah.
So, but just want to piggyback off that. But not only do some people do something, a little bit that, and they might get their channel back. There's some people out there that actually lose their channel completely and won't get it back. And it's just certain things that if YouTube doesn't like you or you break their rules egregiously, then you're going to lose all that content, and they're not going to give it back to you. So, like Bruce and Jay said, back up your data. We can't stress that enough. Back up your videos.
Yeah, if you value it, I mean, if you value your YouTube videos, I mean, if they're just disposable, see, some of the live streams that I do, to be honest, even though I have backup copies of them, I couldn't care less if they were gone. I mean, for me, a lot of the time, those videos are about interacting with the live viewers. They're about that moment. In terms of like the, rewatching them, I don't know. Some people might, but I sort of, but if we talk about the stuff that I pre-record and invest a lot of that time in, always keep backups of those for sure.
Yeah. So Arthur, he goes Ature. Yeah, there we go. There was software that lets you download a YouTube video even if you are not the creator. Yes.
Clip Grab.
Yep.
Clip Grab is the one we're talking about. It's if you haven't got it in your toolkit, grab Clip Grab. It's great.
Because there's some stuff out there that you might want to grab to use for your own video, because you can actually use other people's stuff in your own video as long as you are using it. It's, what is that license for that called, Bruce?
I can't remember what it's called.
Fair use. That's it. No, fair use. That's what Grudy said.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and if you're using it. Yeah, if you're using it to comment on it, if you're using it for satirical purposes, it's basically fine. So this is why people do those commentary videos where they might get someone else's video and then they film themselves commenting on that video. That's all allowed under this sort of the fair use.
Yes, and that's anything you post on YouTube, because basically you're giving YouTube the authority to let them do that. So. Technically, you really don't own all that stuff. YouTube pretty much owns everything that you upload to there. So,
I would be, I back everything up, because if my channel goes down, I'm not monetized. I don't care. Everybody knows where to find me on MacYak or Discord, whatever. So I don't care about that either. But the content itself being so incredibly amazing that it would be a real shame if it gets lost to the world. Like when I clean a puck mouse, that people deserve to see that.
Oh, of course they do. Yeah,
when
and
I have
rewatch
a 3-hour live stream about taking these things apart, and have no idea what I'm doing, completely ignoring the live chat while I do so, people deserve to see that, and I think they really want to. So,
well, they have to see Jay actually touching beige, because that is like very rare. That actually you need to put the rare, because that is actually rare for Jay to do that.
He was actually protected. There was the fine layer of mouse poo all over the top, so that protected him from actually touching the beige.
Yeah, I was protected.
All right. So, anything else before we move on?
No, that was just letting people know, protect your content.
Yes. All right, Mike, you want to play that one video real quick for us?
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah, let's
smash that like button.
Yeah, we haven't done that one in a while. So basically, guys, we got 12 likes out of 19 or 20 viewers right now. So let's get those likes up a little bit.
We need, seeing as Steve's not here, shouldn't we have him stripping the screws?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we could. Do we know where to find that? Does Mike know where to find that?
Is Mike looking for it? He's looking.
Oh, you're stripping the screws.
So we got some Steve on the show tonight.
Let's go.
That is gold.
We never record whatever happens when we're not live, but whatever happens live is fair game. It will get recorded, it will get edited, it will get memed.
Yes.
Fair game.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So we're about done for this evening. We're going to actually get done early, and I don't think Dave's here yet, is he?
Oh, he'll be
so. So can we actually end without him showing up?
It'll feel.
Oh well, I think we'll have to.
Yeah, that's going to be awkward. Yeah. All right, guys. So
tell the people about Discord and all that, and maybe
Yeah.
he'll show up just in time.
All right, so guys, we do have a Discord server. We actually did change up a lot of stuff on it. Hopefully, things that were broke are fixed now. Jay has been working pretty hard on getting the permissions back up to snuff there. I've been actually helping him a little bit on that. But if you have a issue with anything, we do have a bug report channel in there. Just toss it in there and let us know what's going on, and we'll try to get it fixed. But we do have a very active Discord, so guys, check it out. The link is right there. If anybody wants to post it in the chat, we could do that too. Also, if that's it, then I'm going to go ahead and end it. I mean,
Is no
it
one
feels-
doing anything?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, shameless self-promotion time here. So anybody got anything going on this next week?
No.
Well, I sort of live streamed just Tuesday this week, and I've also released a little video. I may not live stream this weekend, so just preparing everyone for that. So Jay, I expect will be live streaming. Come on, Jay.
I might. I have to pretty much work on these daily to get them out of my office in time before Christmas. So I might live stream some, I might record some, or I might just not do anything. We'll see.
Or he'll be on, Stream Duck with us, right?
Maybe. That's more likely, probably. A little less involved.
Yep. Mike, you got anything going on?
I'm driving out to Altoona on Saturday to pick up a laptop. So
Nice.
Saturday afternoon, I might do something. I'll probably do something live. It's not a Mac, but it's an old computer, and I still have my digital Venturis on the desk. So been farting around with that a little bit, but I don't have any definitive plans at this point.
All right.
So-
What about you, Grudy?
Well, I've got some things in the pipeline. Everything, of course, has been pushed back since the accident because I've been dealing with insurance companies and other things. But still, I got things in the pipeline. And sorry, I had to go outside for a second. Short of breath. But I am supposed to be getting my iPhone 13 Pro Max tomorrow. Might do an unboxing. Why not?
Yeah,
gonna
there's
be
going to
later
be
than
about 20
everyone
billion
else.
of those tomorrow. So
Yeah, and it's going to be later than everyone else, but I might do it live. We'll see.
Do it live.
do it
You
live.
know what
do
he
it.
does not have in the pipeline? His installer hard drive, which he still hasn't mailed out to me.
Oh yeah, I need to do that, don't I?
Yes, you do. I don't have anything planned for this weekend, and nothing really planned for next week. I am going to, and this is something Sean wants to see, is I'm going to probably order a Tippy for my TI-99,
A what?
and it's basically a way to get the TI-99 online, and I want to get to his classic website there to see if it actually works on the TI-99. He wants to see that very bad, so I'm going to do that, and we might have to do a collaboration or something. I don't know, so we'll see.
I should actually mention, I did think of something that won't necessarily be happening this weekend, but I did get a package from Canada the other day, and it contains in it a little recapping job, a capping that didn't work, and we're going to try and sort it out. And I will be having a little collaboration with Dan, Canadian Computer Collector, as we try and get that Color Classic logic board working. And I'm not sure if that will be pre-recorded or live streamed, but it is coming soon.
Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, guys, before we wrap it up?
I just want to say thank you for the super chats. Thank you for hanging out. And
Yes.
tell your friends, because we need
We
more
need some
people.
subs.
We
Yes.
love you all, but we want more people here.
Yes. The more people, the merrier, and the more ideas we're going to get too for the show.
Yeah.
You
So
guys
tell
need
your
to
friends.
start.
Tell your friends
uh,
if you don't have friends, make some friends.
And look who just shows up at the very
Now
end.
we-
Right there.
Happy birthday,
Simply
Steve.
Thank you.
that both Jay and myself are giving away things on our channels for X number of subscribers. So get off your lazy asses and help us get some subscribers.
Actually, I've given away something too.
Apparently, the hoser here in the middle of the screen has just popped up. He ain't doing his damn job. he gets like 150 people in a live stream, and I get like 12. You know,
I don't control that. I don't control that.
Rudy, did you say you've got a giveaway? Are you giving away some Corvette parts?
Too.
And I see there were super chats related to my birthday. Good,
Yes.
yay!
yeah, but you weren't here, so we're divvying it up. We're going to divvy them up amongst ourselves.
That's right.
It's only fair.
We ordered a monster-sized pizza with that money.
And Jay ate it all.
Well, that whole super chat is going to ship it over to Bruce because that's what's going to probably cost to ship it over to Bruce. All right, you got anything going on this week, Steve? Before we close it out?
I don't know. I have some time off of work. I don't know if I'll stream or do what, but I have a bunch of stuff to catch up on, so we'll see.
All right, guys.
Everybody wish Steve a happy 45th birthday.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy birthday, son.
I'll bet he loved that Corvette to pieces.
Thanks, Dad.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Hit that bell icon.
Do what you have to do.
Exactly. Tell your friends. In fact, tell 5 of your friends to come over here and sub. So
We'll wait.
Yep.
We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. And then tell them to get 5 of their friends, and so on and so on and so on.
Let's
We
make
call
this
it the
pyramid
Mac
scheme
Yak
proper.
Pyramid Scheme.
Exactly.
And if you do not have 5 friends, go out and make some friends. You owe it to yourself.
Can
Exactly.
you imagine some guy at a bar? Hey, you gotta go to this podcast to talk about Max.
Subscribe to it.
So whatever quality we had is rapidly vanishing down the drain.
It is.
Click the end broadcast button now.
Yeah.